Good evening. The time is 5 o'clock. I will call the January 24th, 2023 meeting of the Mill Creek Township Board of Supervisors to order. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, calling for any public comment on agenda items other than development or rezoning. Anybody wish to speak on anything? Okay, hearing none, we'll move to the approval of the minutes from our January 3rd organizational meeting and the regular meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, call for a vote. Mr. Ouellette?
Yes.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Okay, approval of the bills. We have a batch of bills here to approve.
I'll make that motion to approve.
Okay, thank you, Dan.
And I'll second.
Okay, Mr. Ouellette?
Yes.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Okay, next up we have a hearing on a conditional use application. Matt?
Thank you. Good evening. Yes, this is a conditional use application made by Ashley Messenger for property located at 2714 West 8th Street to install new signage in the PI Presque Isle Gateway District, Mill Creek Index number 219008. At their regular meeting of Tuesday, January 3rd, 2023, the Mill Creek Township Planning Commission recommended approval of this conditional use request. There are 5 criteria that are used in evaluating a conditional use request, and I'd like to go through those really quickly. The first is that the use of the property is a legal use. This is an eating and drinking establishment. It is legally established and a permitted use, so they meet that condition. Second is electronic message center criteria. They're not proposing an electronic message center, so that is not applicable in this case. Number 3, the criteria that it's no more than the maximum square footage permitted in the district. They are permitted 84.8 square feet of signage and are proposing 48 square feet, so they meet that criteria. The next is that the signage is a complement to the colors and materials of the building and the business which occupies it. That is a determination of the board. And then finally, the board could place any reasonable conditions that they felt were good for the use.
Thank you, Matt. Okay. We'll open the hearing. Is there anyone that wishes to, sir, if you could come up to the podium and state your name and address for the record, please.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members, supervisors, Mr. Shaw. How you doing? Good. My name is Bill Morton. I'm an attorney. I represent Ashley Messenger and Underdog. They asked me just to come up and address you regarding this. Matt has already, stated that the signs meet all the requirements required for a conditional use under the zoning ordinance. In essence, what they're doing is they're using the same spaces that Perkins used for all the years that they were in that location. The signs are, well, I mean, I don't know. This is a
we have those. We have
rendering.
Those.
You already have all
that. Yeah, you
that.
can.
Okay.
If you want to hold them up for the audience.
Okay. This is like what the front of the building is going to look like.
Mr. Morton, Attorney Morton, here, if I could make a correct, that is actually the east side of the building, correct? That sign.
This is the exterior.
Yes, but
Yeah.
it faces the parking lot. That
Faces
sign.
the parking lot.
Okay.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Exactly. And we believe this is totally appropriate, and we asked the supervisors to grant the conditional use. They're working hard to get the interior of the building ready so that they can open up. Still hoping to open up sometime in February, right? More towards March? Okay. Okay, but there was a lot of work to do, and this is, you know, one box we have to check. So we'd appreciate the affirmative vote of the supervisors on this. Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
If you have
sir.
any questions of myself or Ashley, okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Anyone else wish to speak on this conditional use? Okay, we'll close the hearing then. And any questions or comments from the board on this?
I have no questions, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
None here.
Okay. We have a motion for approval of this conditional use application.
I'll make a motion for the approval of this conditional use.
And I'll second.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
And I vote yes as well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, next up, we have Resolution 2023-R3, a resolution to amend the Mill Creek Township capital budget for 2023. Mark?
Yes, and after we had passed the capital budget in December of last year, Rob Donikowski pointed out to me that I had inadvertently missed his request for a capital item of $90,000 to replace the tank on the streets jetter truck. So what this resolution is requesting is that we amend the budget, capital budget for 2023 to include that item, and that those funds would come from the fund balance. The one thing that should be noted is we've got lots of capital items, and we don't necessarily always get all of them done. So even though this is an additional $90,000 from the fund balance, the reality is it'll probably come from some project that doesn't get done. And it is my recommendation that we do so.
Thank you, Mark. Any questions? Comments on this? Okay, do I hear a motion to approve this resolution as stated?
So moved.
And second.
Okay, call for a vote. Mr. Olet?
Yes.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, now we have a few bids and quotes. Up first is the men's locker replacement, Mill Creek Police Department, that was tabled from our last meeting.
Correct. The northern section of the men's locker room has many lockers that are not able to be closed and/or opened, likely due to the 2+ decades of use. Having working lockers is a must for officers to be able to secure their weapons and duty gear when not working. 3 quotes have been obtained for this project. I recommend that AJ Grack be awarded this project. Their unit price was $11,941.62, and total cost with labor is $21,221.65. A second quote was from Tri-State Lockers in Pittsburgh for a total cost of a little over $39,000. And a third quote was from Global Industrial in New York City. Their unit price was over $12,000 greater than AJ Grack, and no labor quote was obtained due to the distance and travel that would be involved in the installation project, and the fact that their unit price was greater than the AJ Grack quote.
Thank you, Carter. Okay, is there a motion to approve this locker replacement, AJ Grack, total quote $21,221.65?
Yes, I'll make a motion to approve.
And I will second.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Okay, next up, we have several bids and quotes from the Public Works Department. Mr. Donikowski is going to go through the list, and then we'll vote after the end of the request.
Okay. Thank you. Good evening. On December 15th, 2022, a public bid opening was held for the Westlake Pump Station modification project. Bids are as follows. Shivers Construction, $345,500. Consul Construction, $352,000. And XL Excavating with a bid of $432,300. This project did come in over budget, but we were able to take funds from the Westlake Pump Station line and the Love Road Pump Station line of the sanitary sewer capital budget to cover the cost of this project. It is my recommendation to award this project to Shivers Construction with a bid of $345,500. The second item, the sewer department is seeking approval to purchase 80 each 1975 manhole frames and covers and 20 each 1975 low-profile frames and covers per the attached quote. Total cost for these items from LB Water is $54,815 under CoStar's contract 016-026. Funds will be taken from the frame and cover line of the sanitary sewer expense budget, leaving a balance of $5,185. It is my recommendation to purchase these items from LB Water. The sewer department is seeking approval to purchase the following manhole adjusting rings: 120 each 1 1/4 inch grade rings, 50 each 2 inch grade rings, 36 each 1 inch composite rings, and 36 each 2 inch composite rings, and 24 each 3/4 by 1 3/4 inch composite rings. These items will be purchased from LB Water for the price of $51,369.80 under CoStar's contract 016-026. Funds will be taken from the adjusting rings line of the sanitary sewer expense budget, leaving a balance of $8,630.20. It is my recommendation to purchase these items from LB Water. The Streets Department is seeking approval to purchase a new debris body and rear door for jet truck number 208. The existing body is 15 years old and reached the end of its useful life. One quote was received from A&H Equipment for the price of $85,424.17 under CoStar's contract 025-E22-458. Funds for this item will come from the jetter body line of the Streets Department capital budget, leaving a balance of $4,575.83. It is my recommendation to purchase this body and door from A&H Equipment for the CoStar's price of $85,424.17. The Streets Department is seeking approval to purchase a set of 60-inch construction forks for our CAT 926M loader. One quote was received from Cleveland Brothers Equipment for the price of $8,700 under CoStar's contract 4400019950. Funds for this will be taken from the loader forks line of the Streets Department capital budget, leaving a balance of $3,300. It is my recommendation to purchase this item from Cleveland Brothers for the CoStar's price of $8,700. Building Maintenance is seeking approval to have MGM General Construction repair a rotted steel column in Garage 3. This column is severely rusted due to the salt and water from the plow trucks constantly entering and exiting the building. MGM has provided a lump sum quote of $2,750 for this work, and funds will be taken from the Building Maintenance contingency line, leaving a balance of $17,250. It is my recommendation to contract this work to MGM General Construction. The Streets Department is seeking approval to purchase a 12-foot snow box to mount on the front of the loader for clearing snow on township property. One quote was received from Cleveland Brothers Equipment for $10,000 under CoStar's contract 4400019950. Funds for this will be taken from the snow push box line of the Streets Department capital budget, leaving a balance of $3,000. It is my recommendation to purchase this item from Cleveland Brothers for the CoStar's price of $10,000. The Streets Department is seeking approval to purchase 3 new trucks: a Chevy 1500 crew cab pickup truck, a Chevy 2500 HD crew cab truck with a 6 3/4 foot bed, and a Chevy 2500 HD pickup truck with an 8-foot bed. Total price for these 3 vehicles is $145,630 under Holman Chevrolet CoStar's contract 25-109. 3 current Streets vehicles that have reached the end of their useful life will be traded in. Trade-in value for these vehicles is $11,500. Total price after trade-ins is $134,130. We currently have $132,000 budgeted for these vehicles. The remaining balance of $2,130 will be taken from the snow push box line of the snow push box reserve line, leaving a balance of $870. It is my recommendation to purchase these vehicles from Holman Chevrolet. And finally, the Streets Department is seeking approval to have Insight Pipe Contracting line approximately 310 linear feet of 12-inch storm sewer pipe along Midland Avenue. The cost for this lining is $18,367.50 under CoStar's Contract 016, with any incidental costs being listed on the attached quote. Funds for this will be taken from the pipelining line of the Streets Department capital budget, leaving a balance of $181,632.50. It is my recommendation to contract this work to Insight Pipe Contracting.
Thank you, Rob. Any questions or comments on these items?
No, I'll make a motion to approve all of the items from Rob Donakowski.
I'll second.
Okay, Mr. Olet,
Yes.
Mrs. Clear,
Yes.
and I vote yes as well. Next up is the Saybrook Ravine Repair Project invoice change order. Matt?
Thank you. Before you is the third invoice from Shivers Construction Company for the Saybrook Ravine Repair Project. The project is mostly complete with only the installation of 4 manhole risers and final restoration work left to be done. Restoration will not be complete and cannot be approved until the proper levels of vegetation are established. The township is withholding a final payment of $12,450 until restoration has been completed. Monetary overages for this project total $127,288.76. This amount includes $102,440 in contract quantity overage, which is mainly for 2,185 cubic yards of additional necessary fill material. Also included is a change order for materials of $24,848.76 for the following items: precast end wall, $11,900; concrete pipe seal, $7,998.75; stump removal, $2,552.51; a length of 42-inch HDPE pipe, $1,397.50; and necessary gas well servicing of $1,000. It's my recommendation to approve this third invoice from Shivers Construction Incorporated and to retain $12,450 to ensure proper completion of remaining items. Funds will be taken from the Saybrook Ravine Repair Project and the Planning and Development Department Contingency Fund line items.
I'll make a motion. Oh, sorry.
Thank you, Matt. Do I hear a motion?
You hear one. It's me.
Go for it.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the Saybrook project expenses.
And I'll second.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Olet,
Yes.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Yes. Next up, Altair assignment and assumption agreement. Mr. Shaw?
Yes, on June 14th of 2022, the township entered into an agreement with Altair Holdings LLC, also known as Altair Real Estate Services. Under that agreement, Altair was to provide real estate and consulting services relating to the Presque Isle Gateway Plan. With the formation of the Mill Creek Township General Authority, whose purpose in part is to oversee redevelopment efforts in the Presque Isle Gateway districts, the parties have concluded that it makes sense for the township to assign this agreement to the authority. Under the agreement, the township would assigns and the authority accepts all rights and obligations under the agreements, and Altair has agreed to the assignment. It is recommended that the Board of Supervisors approve this assignment and assumption agreement.
Any questions or comments on this?
No questions. I'll make a motion to approve the Altair agreement.
I'll second.
Mr. Olet,
Yes.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
I vote yes. Okay, next up is a vehicle purchase for Parks and Rec.
Thank you. The Parks and Recreation Department would like to make a capital equipment purchase for a 2023 Chevrolet Silverado 3500 HD four-wheel drive double cab 162-foot work truck with a plow package, ladder rack, and an 8-foot Reading service body with a hitch. The pricing was achieved through Joe Yatzer, our Bureau Chief of the Township Garage. This vehicle was quoted by Dave Holman Chevrolet under CoStar's Contract 25-109 at a price of $64,771. There was $65,000 allotted for this purchase in the Parks and Recreation capital budget, which purchasing this at $64,771 would leave a budget surplus of $229. It is my recommendation to purchase the 2023 Silverado work truck with plow package, ladder rack, and service body from Dave Holman Chevrolet under the CoStar's contract for $64,771.
Thank you. Any questions for Ashley on this? Is there a motion to approve this purchase?
Motion to approve the big truck.
Okay,
Second.
second. Mr. Olet?
Yes.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Yes. We have a postage machine lease agreement to cover. Mark?
Yes. The postage machine we currently have is, roughly 5 years old. And we were approached by Pitney Bowes that the machine is going to become obsolete due to postal regulation changes at the end of 2024. So they offered a lease package of 60 months at $149.87 per month. We are currently paying $150 per month for the current machine. So we're actually saving 13 cents a month. Yay. So essentially it's a no-cost switch, and it'll give us the technology that will allow the post office to encode certain things so they can track mail better, which comes in play when you're dealing with certifieds and things like that. So my recommendation to approve the lease for 60 months and upgrade our technology there.
Okay, thank you, Mark. Do I hear a motion to approve this lease agreement with Pitney Bowes?
I make a motion to approve the agreement and save, what, 5 cents?
13 cents
13 cents
per month.
per month. You're welcome, Mill Creek.
I'll second.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Okay, number 9 on our agenda is ordinance 2023-1. An ordinance of the Township of Mill Creek, Erie County, Pennsylvania, to create the Mill Creek Township Fire Department, providing for a fire chief position and the authority and duties of the fire chief. Mr. Shaw?
Yes, thank you. Ordinance 2023-1 formally creates the Mill Creek Township Fire Department as allowed under the second-class Township Code. The ordinance also creates and outlines the position of fire chief within the township. In 2017, the township formed the Mill Creek Township Fire and Emergency Services Commission. Since that time, a lot of work has been done by the commission to evaluate the fire protection services provided by the volunteer fire departments in Mill Creek Township and to assist those volunteer departments to meet their goal of protecting the community. The volunteer fire departments have done an admirable job, and we hope that they will continue to provide excellent service to the community for many years to come. However, the reality of the situation is that there are far fewer persons willing to serve as volunteer firefighters. This has been a trend nationally and locally for a number of years. As a result, volunteers available to respond to emergencies continue to dwindle, and in the interest of the health, safety, and welfare of Mill Creek Township, it has been determined that the township needs to form the Mill Creek Township Fire Department to assist the volunteers in their continued efforts to protect the community during times of emergencies. Under the ordinance, the Mill Creek Township Fire Department is created effective January 30th, 2023, and will be responsible for providing emergency response services within Mill Creek Township. Under the ordinance, the Mill Creek Fire Department will work in conjunction with the volunteer fire departments to ensure that emergency services continue to be provided, will also provide those fire departments will also provide access to the Mill Creek Fire Department to use their facilities, apparatus, and equipment as necessary to enable the Mill Creek Fire Department to meet its responsibilities under this ordinance. Also under the ordinance, the township will hire a fire chief at a salary range to be determined by the Board of Supervisors. The ordinance identifies various duties and responsibilities of the fire chief, including the level of oversight of the Mill Creek Township Volunteer Fire Departments. The ordinance also provides for the fire chief to perform such departmental duties and responsibilities as the board may assign. Along with this ordinance, there is also a fire chief job description before the supervisors. In accordance with the job description, the fire chief will have oversight and responsibility for the operations, administration, management, and oversight of the Mill Creek Township Fire Departments. Those duties will include the typical responsibilities of directors at the township, such as making recommendations on hiring and promoting staff within the department, creating plans and budgets for operational and capital needs, and facilitating the interaction between the fire department and the volunteer departments. In light of the above, the recommendation is for the Board of Supervisors to approve this ordinance and the fire chief job description.
Thank you, Mark. Any other questions, or you have
Yeah,
a statement, Dan?
I have a statement, a quick statement to make. The citizens of Mill Creek should understand that the Mill Creek Fire Department is not replacing the Mill Creek volunteer fire departments. Rather, they are simply supplementing the emergency services the volunteer fire departments provide. We encourage those who donate to the Mill Creek volunteer fire departments to continue to do so. It is critical to the provision of emergency services in Mill Creek that the generous support of the volunteer fire departments not suffer as a result of the actions recommended to be taken by the supervisors today. The citizens should also understand that it will take several months to actually get the fire department up and running. The township will need to conduct a search for, interview, and ultimately hire a fire chief. The township, with the assistance of the new fire chief, will then need to hire firefighters to staff the fire department. I should also note that the current thinking about the Mill Creek Fire Department is that the department will be staffed Monday through Friday in 10-hour daytime shifts, with a staff of approximately 8 full-time and a few part-time firefighters to enable 6 firefighters to be working during those shifts. We also need to enter into new agreements with each of the volunteer fire departments to outline the new relationship between the Mill Creek Fire Department and the volunteer departments. We have a lot of work before us, but we hope we can count on the public support as we continue this important task.
Thank you, Dan.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I just would like to say that I am proud of Mill Creek Township for taking this step. This has been a long time in coming. I have heard and talked to countless residents about the need for fire safety in Mill Creek Township. You know, as an elected official, our first responsibility is to the safety of our residents. And I want to be able to sleep at night knowing that in case there is a tragedy somewhere in our township, that we are going to be able to answer that call. So I proudly support this, and I thank the Fire Commission for the years of diligence, the diligent work that has been done for years, and the information, the statistics, the studies that have been done. This has been a long time in coming. You've done your homework. And thank you, Supervisor Ouellette, too. As a volunteer fire person yourself, you know what's at stake. So, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is there a motion to approve ordinance 2023-1?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Mr. Ouellette,
Yes.
Mrs. Clear,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Okay, next up, we have an appointment of fire department liaison. I don't have any, there's no documentation on that?
Oh, okay.
Okay,
We can talk about it. I guess.
okay,
Mr. Chairman,
go ahead and talk.
as township supervisors, we are, yes, elected officials, but our actual municipal we are municipal employees, and as municipal employees, our municipal job is to be liaisons for our department. We each have our own departments that we oversee. And this is going to be now a new department. So we need a liaison for that department. And I'd like to nominate Dan Olet as the liaison for that department.
I'll second that.
And I would be honored.
Okay. Call for a vote on that?
Yeah.
Okay. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
I vote yes. Dan, do you get
And
to vote?
Yes, I'll,
You vote for yourself?
yeah, sure.
Okay, it's unanimous. Okay.
Congratulations to Supervisor Olet. And with all of your experience in volunteer fire and with the amount of work you've put into this with the Fire Commission, I think that this is a great fit.
Thank you.
Okay, next up, we have Resolution 2023-R4, a resolution pursuant to Resolution 2015-R20 in the Municipal Records Manual to approve proposed disposition of certain township records. Today, we're talking about police records. Looks like anywhere from 1992 to 2019, various internal memos, crash investigation files, traffic citations, and various other records within Mill Creek Police Department. This is just a resolution to dispose of those records as listed here.
Mr. Chairman, I would note
Yes.
that all of these records, the retention period for all of these has
Okay.
expired, so that's why we're able to dispose of them.
Okay, looks like the retention period's anywhere from 2 to 20 years.
Correct.
Okay, very good. Is there a motion to approve this resolution?
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, Mr. Olet,
Yes.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Number 12 is a non-substantial amendment to Land Development Plan, Mod Wash, LDP, Hutton Erie Fillmore Developer. Matt?
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, this item was placed on the agenda with the hopes that necessary documents that would be required would be received by the township in time. As the time of this meeting, we have not received the documents that we need, so I would recommend that the board vote to table this item till their February 14th meeting so that we can receive those required documents.
Okay, thank you, Matt. Is there a motion to table this?
Yes, I'll make a motion to table.
Thank you, Kim.
I'll second.
Okay, Mr. Olet,
Yes.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
And I vote yes. We have a sidewalk deferral request from 2975 Laird Avenue, Michael Higginbotham, developer. Matt?
Thank you. Yes, we have a sidewalk request, as you mentioned, for 2975 Laird Avenue. Michael Higginbotham is requesting to defer the construction of sidewalks for this property when he builds a new home. There are currently no sidewalks located in the neighborhood. It is the recommendation of the Planning and Development Department to approve the request as submitted. The lot has double frontage on West 11th Street and Laird Avenue. There are currently no sidewalks in the neighborhood, and their stormwater management plan does take into account the impervious surface and water runoff for the future sidewalks when they are constructed.
Okay, thank you, Matt. Any questions or comments on this request?
No.
No? Okay, is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve?
I'll second.
Okay, Mr. Olet,
Yes.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Stormwater Management Maintenance Agreement and acceptance of a stormwater management plan for the Erie International Airport realignment and rehabilitation of Taxiway A, Land Development Plan, Erie Regional Airport Authority. Matt?
Yes, thank you. The Erie Regional Airport Authority is seeking approval for their stormwater maintenance agreement for the Taxiway A Land Development Plan. We have reviewed the plan and determined that there is actually going to be a net reduction in impervious surface, so there will be less blacktop out there than there currently is when the project is complete. Approval for their National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System permit, NPDES, has not been secured at this time. It is the recommendation of the Planning and Development Department to recommend approval of this agreement and to accept the plan conditionally. While Stormwater Management Review has determined there will be a net reduction in impervious surface, any potential changes to their NPDES permit may cause revisions to the Stormwater Management Plan that will need to be reviewed for compliance with our Stormwater Management Ordinance.
Thank you, Matt. Is there a motion to approve this maintenance agreement
If I could,
and
just.
plan? Oh, go
real
ahead,
quickly,
Mark.
Mr. Chairman. Matt, in terms of when you say conditional, the condition would be is assuming that no changes to what they've submitted with respect to the plan are required by the NPDS approval.
Correct.
Okay, just wanted to clarify that.
Okay, thank you. Do I hear a motion on this?
Yeah, motion to approve?
Okay, thank you, Kim.
I'll second.
Okay, Mr. Olet?
Yes.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
I vote yes. Next up, number 15 is Charter Communications Proposal and Engagement Letter. Mr. Shaw?
Yes, before you is a proposed retention agreement between the township and Cohen Law Group to assist the township with negotiating a new cable franchise agreement with Charter Communications. I believe the current agreement expires next year at some point. The Cohen Law Group has experience in negotiating these types of agreements, and in fact, I believe assisted the township during the last negotiation between the township and, at that time, I believe it was Time Warner. Under the agreement, Cohen will perform a franchise fee audit to ensure that the township has received all of the franchise fee revenue to which they are entitled to, as well as negotiate a new franchise agreement that addresses the changes since the last franchise agreement and secures increased, hopefully financial and legal benefits for each municipality. Charter is also performing this same service with several other municipalities in the area that are served by Charter Communications, and they have proposed a sliding scale flat fee to reflect that much of its work will also be this, because much of his work that will also be the same as the other municipalities that sign up, as well as it depends upon the size of the municipality. For Mill Creek, the flat fee would be $11,250 if 2 to 6 municipalities sign on, $10,625 if 7 to 10 sign on, $10,000 if 11 to 14 sign on, and $9,373 if 15 or more sign on. We would recommend that the Cohen Law Group be retained to perform these services at a maximum cost of $11,250, as it may be adjusted by the number of municipalities that ultimately sign on with Cohen. I would note that we have been informed that as of January 18th of 2023, 6 municipalities have signed up, so arguably Mill Creek would be number 7, which should result in an ultimate fee of no more than $10,625. But in the interest of being cautious, I would recommend the approving $11,250 as the max.
Okay, thank you, Mark. Any questions or comments on this? Is there a motion to approve this proposal and engagement letter with the Cohen Law Group for a amount not to exceed $11,250, depending on the number that
Yes.
sign up?
I'll make a motion to approve this with Charter.
I'll second.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
And I vote yes. We have an approval of joint representation request. Mr. Shaw?
Yes, we received a request from Attorney Patrick Carey seeking the township's agreement to allow Attorney Carey and his law firm, Marshall Dennehy, to represent not only the township, but also 2 officers that identified in a recent lawsuit filed by Thomas Sebastian against the township. This is not an unusual request in a case such as this, and allows one attorney or one law firm to represent all of the defendants in a single case. Attorney Carey does not see any current conflicts, but the rules of professional conduct require that he obtain the township's approval with the understanding that potential conflicts could arise that are currently not foreseen. If an actual conflict would arise in the future, the township would be given a further opportunity at that time to consider how to move forward with counsel. We would recommend approving this request.
Thank you, Mark. Any questions or comments on this request for joint representation through Marshall Dennehy, Attorney Carey?
No.
Okay. Do I hear a motion to approve this?
So moved.
Okay, thank you,
I'll
Dan.
second.
Thank you, Kim. Mr. Olet?
Yes.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Okay, next we have an acceptance of a Mill Creek Police Department gun violence grant and authorization to execute grant agreements. Carter, are you handling that, or Kim?
I sure can.
Go ahead.
I am happy to say that Mill Creek Township has received, Police Department has received a grant that is totaling $560,387 grant total. That includes salary and benefits for an additional detective for a 2-year period. The grant also includes $291,200 for overtime costs for additional patrols between May 1st and October 31st of this year. And I would like to make sure that I give some credit to Graham Perkins, who is one of our police officers who did take time off the street in order to apply for these loans. These grants, my goodness. These grants were actually done countywide in conjunction with many other police departments throughout the county. So that we didn't have duplication of services. And I'm really proud of the Mill Creek Police Department for taking time and the energy to apply for these grants that are available to us. And they were written so well that they were received. So you're not always guaranteed a grant when you apply. So I'm really excited for the police department. This is going to just make us safer. So I'll make a motion to approve the receiving of the grant money.
Okay.
I'll second.
And
If I could, just real quick, I would also include in that motion the authorization to execute the grant agreements.
And I will, yes, to execute the grant agreements.
okay, thank you, Kim. Do I hear a second?
Yes. Second.
Second, okay. Mr. Olet?
Yes.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Okay, number 18, communications, treasurer communications. Mark?
Yes. Before you is a request from me as pension plan administrator to approve my determination regarding the proper designated beneficiary of a pension distribution. Under the plan, such action taken by the administrator is to be reviewed and approved by the board. Here, I was asked to determine the proper designated pension beneficiary. After review of the facts and circumstances regarding the beneficiary designation and consultation with the township solicitor, it is my determination as pension plan administrator to accept the original beneficiary designation because the subsequent attempted change in beneficiary designation was not valid. The recommendation is to approve my determination.
Okay, thank you, Mark. Do I hear a motion to approve the pension beneficiary designation as stated?
So moved.
And I'll second.
Okay. Mr. Olet?
I vote yes.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
And I vote yes.
All right, and then additionally, I would like to recommend that we open 2 new bank accounts at Erie Bank. The first one is for the deposit of the fire tax funds. That way we'll be able to keep them segregated, and it's easier to keep track of them when they're in their own bank account. And then the other one is for a new merchant bank account. That currently is at PNC, and I'm just kind of at my wit's end with them. And so therefore, I would like to just move this account over to PNC, or Erie Bank, and be done with them. We got still one bank account at PNC, but that one's just harder to deal with at this point.
Okay, thank you, Mark. So 2 new Erie Bank accounts.
Yes.
So okay, do I hear a motion for that?
I'll make a motion to approve the 2 new accounts at Erie Bank.
I'll second.
Okay, Mr. Olet?
Yes.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
And I vote yes. 2022 Annual Report of the Planning Commission. Is that Matt?
Yes, thank you. You have in front of you the annual report, and I don't need to read the whole thing. I'd just like to quickly summarize. This is a report summarizing the activities of the Planning Commission for last year. Very quickly, the Planning Commission reviewed and made recommendations on 11 small subdivisions, 14 land developments, 2 sketch plans, the amendments to the comprehensive plan, the zoning ordinance that was adopted last year, and 1 conditional use request. The commission does make the following recommendation to the Board of Supervisors, that they continue the work to update the subdivision and land development ordinance to be consistent with Embrace Mill Creek.
Okay, thank you, Matt. This isn't something we have to formally approve, the report itself.
I don't believe so. I don't know.
Yeah, I
They
don't
have to-
believe so. I think it's, the obligation is on the planning commission to present it or submit it
Correct.
to the supervisor, so.
Okay, thank you, Matt. Okay, next up, we have a promotion in public services, community relations and sustainability department. It's from Diane Lyons in our human resource department. Jessica Stutzman, promotion to Director of Community Relations and Sustainability Department. Jessica has been employed here since August of 2012. Okay, and this would be a promotion to an annual salary of $72,724.32. Start date would be March 1st. And, okay, you are currently the recycling coordinator here, and I understand there's someone that would like to speak on this promotion. Judy?
Yes, I'd like to say a few words.
Okay.
Jessica Stutzman has been the recycling coordinator for the past 10 years and has worked very closely with me during that time. I've watched Jessica successfully expand Mill Creek Township's recycling program over the years. I am confident in her ability to advance the community relations and sustainability department with her amazing ideas, her energy, and her passion. Jessica will be able to tackle any challenge that comes her way, and she will excel in the responsibilities of this position. So I want to congratulate Jessica on a very well-deserved promotion as Director of Community Relations and Sustainability.
Thank you, Judy. Okay, Kim, do you want to say a few words?
Yes, I would like to as well. You know, we've got some big stuff going on here in Mill Creek Township. We've got some very sad things and some very wonderful things. Our Chief of Police, Scott Height, is going to be leaving soon, which makes me very sad, but how amazing that we have Deputy Chief Carter Mook that will be taking his place at the end of the week. We have Judy Zelina, who has been with us she has been devoted to Mill Creek Township for most of her life, let's put it that way. And she will be sadly leaving in February. But we have the amazing Jessica Stutzman to be taking that department over. So it is so difficult and hard and sad and wonderful all at the same time. So Jessica, I want to say congratulations. You have earned this. You have not only been studying underneath of Judy, but you have been doing things on your own. You've been going your own way. And I'm just excited to see what the future of Mill Creek looks like with you here. And so congratulations.
It's going to be amazing.
Oh, no doubt. It was amazing with you too, Judy.
Thank you. Thanks, Kim.
Okay. Yes, do I hear a motion for approval of this promotion?
So moved.
Okay,
Enthusiastically seconded.
okay, call for a vote. Mr. Olet?
Yes.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Congratulations. Thank you. Okay, next up, we have a new hire in the Public Services Department. This is for Monica Ziegler, receptionist / switchboard operator, a rate of $16.46 per hour. Start date, February 8th. Monica currently works at Berkheimer as a team coordinator for 8 years and previously as a tax processor. Did anyone want to say anything about this
No,
request?
I was just going to recommend her hiring.
Okay, thank you,
Please,
Judy.
Yes. Mhm.
Okay. And this is to fill a position due to a promotion.
Correct.
So is there a motion to approve Monica Ziegler for the receptionist position effective February 8th?
So moved.
And I'll second.
Okay, Mr. Olet?
Yes.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Okay, next we have several training requests. First is the Planning and Development Department. Matt?
Yes, thank you. I have 2 requests. The first is for myself. I'm seeking permission to attend the 2023 National Conference of the American Planning Association that will be held in Philadelphia, PA from March 31st through April 5th. The national conference is not usually in a location this close by and has not been hosted by the Pennsylvania chapter since 2007. A big focus of the 2023 conference is on implementation of federal programs and grants, with an emphasis on the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law and the American Rescue Plan Act. Total cost for my attendance is estimated at $3,200, and the funds would come from my department's training account and travel account as appropriate. So I'm asking for permission to attend that.
Okay, Matt. Is there a motion to approve this attendance for Matt at this conference?
So moved.
And I'll second.
Okay, Mr. Olet?
Yes.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
And I vote yes.
Thank you. My second request is for project engineer John Sebesta. PennDOT District 1 is hosting their 2023 winter conference on Tuesday and Wednesday, February 14th and 15th, from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. It will take place at the Park Inn by Radisson, located in West Middlesex, PA. Traditionally, the seminar accounts for 6 to 8 professional development hours per session. There is no registration fee, but Mr. Sebesta would like a township vehicle to travel to the venue both days. So it is my recommendation that John Sebesta be permitted to attend the PennDOT District 1 Winter Conference at a no charge for registration, but he be permitted to use a township vehicle to travel to Mercer County for both days.
Okay, thank you, Matt. Is there a motion for approval for this training request?
Motion to approve the training request.
I'll second.
Okay, Mr. Olet?
Yes.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
And I vote yes.
Thank you.
Okay, next I have a request from Rob, Sewer Department, for a pumper show.
Thank you. The Sewer Department is seeking approval to send 5 employees to this year's water and wastewater equipment, treatment, and transport show in Indianapolis, Indiana. The show will take place from February 20th through the 23rd. Employees attending this year's show will be myself, Mark Wells, Eric Pham, Frank Molina, and Clyde Kendall. Total cost for the show, lodging and per diem, will be $5,952.08, and this will be taken from the Sewer Department training expense budget, leaving a balance of $4,047.92. And we would be requesting 1 township vehicle for this conference, and it is my recommendation to send these employees to this conference.
Okay, thank you, Rob. Is there a motion for approval of this training request as presented?
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
Second. Okay, Mr. Olet?
Yes.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Okay, next up is, stand by, that is for the 3 detectives. Is that what you have?
Yes, I have 4 requests.
Okay, this is number 1 for
This is
the
number 1.
Northwest Training Center.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
can I make a recommendation that we vote on all 4?
Consolidate.
Or vote on all 4 at the end?
You can want to
Just
present
list them all.
present them all in succession, Carter.
Okay,
Thank you.
that works. First, I'm requesting approval to send 3 officers, Detective Buckner, Officer Brocklehurst, and Officer Cool, to new peer support officer training that's being held this week at North Shore Neuroscience in Erie. There is a training invoice of $4,200 payable to the trainer, Govan Martin, of Harrisburg, of Harrisburg, who's a nationally recognized trainer in this field. MPD recognized the need for an officer wellness program, and having such a program is one of the pillars, major pillars of the President's task force on 21st century policing. MPD applied for a Coast mental health grant, which was granted last year in order to help initiate this program. The grant will reimburse the township for $2,270 of this $4,200 bill, leaving a balance of $1,930, which shall be utilized from the police training budget. I'm also requesting permission to send 9 officers to a domestic violence strangulation course at the Northwest Training Center in Meadville. The course is on March 7th. Travel will be by department vehicle, and there's no cost to attend. The course will directly benefit the officers in their roles as investigators of domestic abuse-related offenses for the police department, specifically strangulation, which by its very nature is difficult to prove due to the oftentimes lack of outward signs of physical injury. The officers are Sergeant Parmenter, Detective Bolash, Corporal Mikowski, Lieutenant Ferrick, Corporal Constable, Corporal Washik, Corporal Schellenberger, Corporal Keller, and Corporal Presnar. Next, I'm requesting permission to send 5 officers from the MPD SWAT team to a tactical medicine course, also at the Northwest Training Center of the State Police in Meadville. This course is March 14th through the 16th. Travel will be by department vehicle, and there's no cost to attend. This course will directly benefit the officers in their roles as tactical operators for the SWAT team. This training is a critical need due to the fact that we presently have just one medic, Randy Jagta of Mill Creek Paramedic, attached to the team. Should Jagta be unable to respond to a particular crisis, the team now would be without the needed medical support. The officers are Detective Bolash, Detective Henderson, Corporal Keller, Patrolman Shafter, and Patrolman Drozdowski. And finally, I'm requesting permission to send 3 officers, Lieutenant Fallon, Sergeant Parmenter, and Detective Bolash, to attend the International Symposium on Child Abuse in Huntsville, Alabama, which is taking place March 20th through the 24th. The course registration costs are $2,100. However, that's being covered by the District Attorney's Office. There are travel costs associated with this training, totaling $4,051 between hotel, per diem, and gas. This symposium has traditionally been attended to by MPD juvenile detectives on a biannual basis, but the last time was in 2017. The symposium provides expert training on child maltreatment, such as physical sexual abuse, neglect, exposure to violence, polyvictimization, exploitation, trafficking, and prevention. The course will also provide officers with not only up-to-date investigative knowledge and techniques, but also networking opportunities with other like professionals. So it's my recommendation that all 4 training requests be approved.
Okay, I have 2 more training requests here from, is that what you have,
That was
Lydia?
for the next meeting? Yeah. And this, okay, all right.
You want, we're gonna do those now
I
then?
have one more training request that was intended for the January 3rd meeting. I'm requesting permission to send 3 detectives to a child abuse investigations course at the Northwest Training Center of the State Police in Meadville. This course is February 14th and 15th. Travel will be by department vehicle. There is no cost to attend. The course will directly benefit Detectives Bolash, Inman, and Juka in their roles as investigators of child abuse-related offenses for the police department.
Okay. I have one, did we cover this, the 17 officers for the drug interdiction and
I can present that.
conducting the complete traffic stop course in Erie?
That was meant for the February meeting, but if
page-
it's on your agenda, I can read
Page
it off to you.
218.
218. I can read it if you need me to. Requesting permission to send 17 officers to drug interdiction and conducting the complete traffic stop course at the Hurt Auditorium in Erie from 3:29 to 3:30. No overtime is needed to maintain staffing. The recommendation is that the course is sponsored by the District Attorney's Office and there is no tuition or travel costs.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve all of the training requests.
And I'll second.
Okay, Mr. Olet,
Yes.
Mrs. Clear,
Yes.
and I also vote yes. Okay. Next is executive sessions were held January 12th and 19th of this year. Solicitor communications.
Nothing further on my end.
Citizens to be heard. Sir, step up. If you could please state your name and address for the record, sir.
Okay. My name is Kirk Daniels. I live at 2920 West 11th Street. And I bought my place in 2008. 2009, after we started remodeling it, you know, obviously you guys are familiar with the area. The school was across the street from me. The place was pretty much in dilapidation. We bought it. We you know, starting out our family, we decided, let's start with something, fix it up. We noticed the water issues in the township. We would notice the water kept leaking through the basement. Just comes right up in the basement, all through the cracks. We constantly deal with it. So I went to I talked to Ann Sokol in 2010 and talked to her, and she stated, you know, look, we have water issues. It's a problem with Mill Creek. You know, she said, this is what you're dealing with. The only thing you can do is you can put a sump in, but there's nowhere for you to pump it now. There has to be a basin put in, you know, outside of there. So after a couple years of going back and forth, she came down, she said she drew up the plans and said, this is all we can do now. We can give you the equipment, but you have to pay for putting it in. Well, at that time it was, I think it was $10,000 to $15,000, whatever it was. I can't afford it, you know, the house is, you know, it's not at that level. It's not a $400,000 home. We have a family and everything. So what I did, I said, what's the option of you guys doing this? You know, just because of the road, you know, the water comes down there. The water comes, you know, you have a major water area that comes down where that school sat. All that water comes downhill. It just sits in a retaining pond across the street from me. I've looked at this with, you know, with contractors that have come trying to figure things out. She said it'd be 10 years. It'd be 10 years before we got to it. It's been over 10 years, and I've asked, Dan, I've emailed you, you've seen all this stuff. Kim, we've talked about this. You've seen all the pictures. The last communication I had was you were gonna follow up with Ann and see when is this actually gonna go on the books to get scheduled. You know, I've asked and I call every year. I try to get somebody to respond every year. As I take, you know, and these are just yes, I want water out of my basement. But when I look at the township, like the way this is laid out, all that water is coming down that hill.
That's right.
It comes down. I walk my kids to the bus stop down to Laird Avenue, you know, where Laird and Laird and Adams. So I walk the kids down there. Well, when it rains and the snow's there, I have to walk in the middle of the street because there's literally a 4-foot area where you can't walk. That's the only spot without water. Cars drive by there, you know, I look at the safety and stuff, but that section, I walk that road all the time. That section is the only section of road on the street that doesn't have a basin in it. I know, like, I've asked, and they always say, well, when it gets developed across the street, well, that's across the street, and the only thing that's went in there, that's even tried to go in there, is that car wash. They were wanting to, I went to that meeting, you know, sounded great, you know, it's like, yeah, it would alleviate the drainage problem across there, but there's, you know, unless there's something coming up, I guess, where are we at with this?
I can answer part of that. And Kirk, I did get your messages, by the way, in the last week. I got them today.
Okay.
I apologize that I did not get back to you. My husband's going to yell at me because I didn't get all my messages and called back today, and I told him I've been behind. So basically, there is a sewer water line that actually would have to be connected to on Adams Street. Matt, you can probably help me with that. So basically what happens with some of these individual problems that are happening is that, you know, we have to go so many feet, you know, from where it would be connected to, which is on Adams Street from what we looked at. I looked at this with Ann, actually, who has since passed away. In December, she passed. And And I also have talked about it with some other individuals within our planning department. So I have been working, trying to see what can be done. This is of significant cost to the township, and one of the things that we have to do as elected officials is we need to decide, you know, how much can we spend for each individual household, right?
Yeah.
And there's only so much that can be spent. So, you know, putting pipe in for 3 residents is how is that cost effective for us? And to do every single person in the township, we have 55,000 residents at, you know, 50 grand a piece. It's difficult to be able to make those decisions on which part, and we can only do so much per year. And that's why when Ann gave you that, it'll probably be 10 years, she was probably thinking that that's where it was gonna come down, is we're gonna get to these little inches, you know, within the township that we didn't get to beforehand. So we have a lot of these individual requests from residents who want, you know, the front of their house to have the wastewater lines put in. So anyway, that part of the road is not in our budget for this year. I don't know when it is going to be, was basically what I was told. And I don't know if Matt Waldinger has any other thing to add.
Not really. I mean, I think you covered it pretty well, Kim. Yeah, there was nothing added to the budget this year to extend any storm sewer up West 11th Street. I know that Ann had looked at it, and I think that is the only way that you would have some place to tie in a sump pump would be if there was a basin there, or, you know, the line was ran all the way down to Adams, which I understand is cost prohibitive. But yeah, I don't really have anything more to add other than that.
So this cost is, how much did you guys calculate this out to now?
Well, you know, the cost of the equipment that you were given because Ann said that if you would purchase the,
She said if we gave you, this is what she told me at the time, she said if we gave you the pipe and the basin,
yes,
said, and you contracted, so I said, what contractors do you recommend? It was Great Lakes Excavating at the time. They came down, surveyed the whole thing, did their assessment, and that's what it was. It was about, I don't know, somewhere between that 10 and 15,000 ballpark.
and Rob, does that sound about right?
Yeah, I think that would be roughly in the ballpark of what it would cost to install that.
Okay, and there are, 4 houses? Of course, my map is being funky right
There's
now.
3 houses.
3
and one
houses
trailer.
until yours.
Yeah.
So all of that would have to be put in. So 15,000, not just in front of his home. It would be 15,000 from the corner?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, if we were to provide materials, I would guess we would be somewhere in the $10,000 to $15,000 range to tie into the basin at Adams and 11th and run down to Mr. Daniels' property.
And the trouble that we have, just so you know, is that if we do it for one resident, what do we do with the other 55,000?
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? And I'm
understand what
not
you're
saying that you're not more important than anyone else. I don't want you to think that. And as we know, Ann has had you on the list for since 2010. If that tells you anywhere of where we are at with being behind.
Okay.
So I don't have an answer for you on when it will be done. I know it is on our list of things that we would like to accomplish. I do know that.
Okay. I mean, you can see right there on that, with the way all that water comes across there. I mean, that was from the school. That's like, you know, this is how the township was set up. It's not, I could see if I just put some house out in the middle of nowhere and said, hey, I want you to pop this on there. You know, I'm taking your water, like you have in there. I'm taking all that water, because that all comes down there, and it has to go somewhere, and it doesn't go anywhere. And eventually, you know, it's like every month I look down in my basement, and it's just water coming out, and it's like I got to worry about mold. I got kids. I'm just like, and I've talked to a lot of people you know, a lot of people, I talked to the sewer guy that came down there, and like he said, you know, there's probably this fire hydrant's leaking there too. You can see where it's all, I called the water company, they come out, they drive by it and says, sorry, it's just snow. It's, you know, didn't even get out to take a look and see if there was something leaking, you know. It's always wet over in that area, even during dry spells, but I'm just asking you, can you, you know, maybe take a look at it from that aspect. It's not just me saying, you know, everybody has wet basements in that whole area. I've talked to all the neighbors. I've been in both houses next to me. It's horrible, but that is something I feel that you know, the township left. The township left that and said, this is gonna be fixed when it gets developed, and the township failed on this. This is how I feel. So I don't know if you guys have anything else to say. Dan, I know that you have a lot of sewer experience. You know, I've talked to people. You know, I respect your opinion if you have anything, but I feel this was left at the township, just that they were gonna do this when it got redeveloped, and it's not getting redeveloped.
Right. I'm not opposed to taking another look at your situation there again.
Okay.
You know, from the street level side to, you know, what issues you might be having, you know, in your home, and looking at it again.
The storm sewer
Okay.
goes right here.
But right now, I can't make you any promises on, you know, where we'll end up, but we'll certainly take another hard look at it.
Okay.
Okay?
I appreciate it.
And this is the first I've heard of this.
I know, you
I-
guys aren't the first township supervisors I've talked to. I mean, it was all way before, you know, I talked to John Grow, I talked to everybody that was in there, you know, and it just kept it just fell on deaf ears before you guys. And I'm sorry, you hear the brunt of it.
No,
You know,
that's okay.
You're getting the citizens to be heard, but
No,
I
that's
just,
fine. Yeah, no, I'm glad you brought it to my attention.
But, I mean, is there any new plans for any development there that's official on the books or across the street or nothing?
No, we haven't. We've had some conversations with, you know, people that have proposed things over the, you know, last few months, but nothing firm has been submitted yet.
Okay. All right, well, that's all I have. I appreciate your time.
Thank you very
Okay,
much.
Thank you.
Okay, any other citizens to be heard? No? Okay. Hearing none. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to, second.
Okay. We are adjourned at 18:11 hours.